Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm usual host Joe Scott and I'm joined here by Tony Tones at RT. How are you, Tony?
Hello, I'm doing good. It's not as hot today.
Bro. I'm not even going to turn my AC on. There it is.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not that warm. I mean, it's warm.
AC
Like I still
down,
have my
AC
t-shirt,
in.
but it's not. It's not AC warm.
Yeah, okay.
I'll say it.
I just mentioned I've turned the gain down on my mic. I think listening back to our previous tangerines and stuff, I feel like I was shouting all the time and I was like clipping. But hopefully this is a good compromise. I turned the gain up so loud because I got reports that the microphone was too quiet, and then I turned it up. But then I think, it's such a small condenser mic that it's hard for it to pick up
Yeah,
everything. So
yeah.
this might
It's
be
like
a
overloads everything, I
this
guess.
might be a good compromise until I get a better solution. But we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, do you have anything to add, Tony, before we go into the news? I feel like there was something
No.
I wanted to talk about, but I can't remember
Oh,
what it
you
was.
wanted to talk about something.
Yeah, didn't I? What do I? Oh, I got This is what I said last week. I won't distract you, so we could not stall the podcast. Let's stall the podcast now. I got the 6G internet mesh thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you
6G
can like you got
Wi-Fi
like
mesh routers.
you got
Yeah.
like the mesh and like the home plug is like two connections, like a fallback system,
Yeah.
right?
So I was using just a home plug, which basically, if you don't know, is like a wireless AC adapter, and it sends
Yeah,
the
it sends a
internet
signal down
traffic
the
through
yeah. It
your
sends eight
the
mains.
yeah, it sends it through your electrical wires in your house,
Yeah.
which is good if you have like copper in your walls or like big thick concrete walls, anything that blocks Wi-Fi signals from getting through.
If you have modern wiring as well, it's a lot better. If you have old wiring, it's shit.
Mm. Anyway, I was using the home plug as a solution, but my dad wanted better Wi-Fi. I think he actually just got a Wi-Fi 6 mesh just to try and improve the Wi-Fi so he could help it reach the Ring doorbell camera at the front of the house better. But we went
Okay.
through all this like rigorous
Can you
testing,
not
but
just get a repeater though?
I think the problem is that the Ring doorbell is like through a thick brick wall, and
Yeah, yeah, but like if you put the repeater like at the corner, like at the bottom of your
no, he
stairs, like
tried. He put like a home plug, a Wi-Fi home plug next
yeah,
to it, and it just didn't work at all. It kept disconnecting and stuff.
interesting.
I think
Okay.
it's got a better
It's not
connection
even that
now.
far.
There's a dedicated router for the Ring doorbell now. You'll have to say. Well, the thing is, he already had. You remember, my dad lent you that old like Asus,
Yeah, yeah.
um, powerful router. You can link
Yeah.
any router up to improve the mesh. So you like make a bigger mesh of Wi-Fi routers basically. So I
Yeah,
have I
yeah.
have one in my room which I'm directly connected to, and there's one downstairs where the internet access is, and then there's one in the hallway for the Ring doorbell, and it's working really well. Like I've pretty much so it's it's also plugged into the home plug as like a backbone, and what it can
Yeah.
do is because it's like Wi-Fi 6 is quite smart. It can or like the routers. It's like a good. I think it's an Asus one. It's quite a new one. I think they're quite expensive.
Yeah,
But
this is something expensive.
what's cool about it is it has the home plug signal. Because I was really worried because I was like, oh, would it if I'm going to start playing on games on Wi-Fi? I don't want it to have like bad latency. Like ping is really
Yeah,
important to me.
yeah, yeah,
But I found like the actual Wi-Fi 6 is really fucking strong. Like when it comes to like latency and throughput.
yeah.
Um, so actually, I found that I had like the same latency as the home plug connection, and
I, I, I,
what the
I
router
have
could.
found that to be honest, that Wi-Fi 5 and upwards is like have pretty good latency
Yeah,
though.
yeah. So, and I found like you can have the best of both worlds because it can take it can take my home plug signal and it can take the Wi-Fi signal and it can dynamically choose the best one. So if one of them
I
goes
assume,
down, it can switch to the other one.
I assume it's sending like the packet to both of them, and then whatever packet comes first, it just uses that.
Yeah, I assume so. But it's been working really well, and the really cool thing about it as well is if I ever go and I get Say for example, I get a Oculus Quest 2, I could dedicate an entire band from this router just for
Yeah.
wireless for my VR headset, which means I would have ultra low latency wireless VR in my room through my
'Cause
PC streaming,
yeah. Because the other
which
thing,
would
good
be
thing about
really
Wi-Fi
cool.
6 that's a new to 6 is like it's able to like communicate to multiple devices at once without like really like
Mm.
lowering the bandwidth, which is really good.
But there's the Wi-Fi talk I promised Dave I wouldn't stall you with last podcast, but now
Right.
I have because it's all set up now and it's working very well.
Yeah,
I'm
sounds
happy with it.
good.
So, and my
Yeah.
dad gets better signal on the Ring doorbell. That's the main thing.
I,
That's the
I
main
don't I
takeaway
don't
from this story.
understand, but okay.
I think the Ring doorbell's just shit. I think that's whatever. It is cool that like
Yeah,
I'm playing games and then random my phone goes off and I look at my phone and then I can just see like a Tesco man standing outside the house and
but
it's a
surely
great
that's what the
feature.
doorbell is normally for. Why does it need to make your phone go?
Well, what if I'm not in the house? Actually, okay, I'm gonna tell you a
Right?
story. Literally like a couple of days ago, I go out biking all the time. I go biking every day, right? And
Yep.
my new phone, the iPhone XR, is really big. It's massive. So I usually take my old phone, my iPhone SE, which is a lot smaller, because I like small phones. So I was using my
Yeah.
iPhone SE as like an iPod, right? But it doesn't have a SIM in it because I've put the SIM
Okay.
into my new phone. So I'm out on my bike and my parents are at home. So I go out and I don't take my keys. I come back. They're not here. They're miles away. But I can't contact them because the house is locked. But I don't have a phone. So how do I contact them, Tony? I ring them on the doorbell. True,
I
actual true
that's
story.
that's such a dumb use case of the Ring
It
doorbell.
actually saved my life. There it is,
Yeah,
guys.
I know, but if you just had, oh
It
my
was like one of
god.
those days where it was like 29, 30 degrees out. It was boiling hot. I managed to break into the garage and I was eating a Calippo ice cream in the garden. And
Hang
you know
on,
what,
so
Tony?
I'm a bit confused. So what happened? So you rang the doorbell.
Yeah.
I like I'm trapped outside. What happened? Like, what did they say?
They
Fuck
said
you, you're trapped
they
outside.
said this is a good lesson to teach you to take your keys or your phone with you. Take your keys next
Yeah,
time. And I said, fuck off.
yeah. Then you wouldn't need the Ring doorbell.
The problem is it's been so hot. I don't know if you know this, but cycling clothes don't have pockets on them.
Do they not? What?
No, like fucking when you start to get like the
Why?
really thin stuff. You can get like t-shirts that have like the
Oh my
cycling
god.
shirts, like the really thin ones. They have like sort of back pockets, but
Could
I need to sew like zip pockets into all of the
hang on,
shorts
but
I
how?
own.
Okay. You know, like at the conference on like events, like you have like you put your card like around your neck. Like, could you not have that, but you put your key around your neck?
I have a keychain,
Yeah. So
but I have
could you
nothing to
not put a
clip it
keychain on
onto.
like a I don't know what you'd call it, like a
I don't mind like this is why I don't mind the cold weather because I have like a jacket with like a zip
yeah
on the
yeah.
back, and I put my
Why
tissues,
can't you use
my
normal
keys, my
trousers though?
phone in there. It's fantastic. Sorry.
Can't you just use like normal shorts or something though? Or is that
Yeah, I do have normal shorts, but a lot of my
you can't
shorts don't
cycle
have
with them?
zip pockets in them. The problem is
Oh
like
right.
when you're cycling, it's really easy for stuff to fall out your
Oh
pockets.
yeah.
Um,
And if it falls out, it's gone.
all I'm saying is, short manufacturers out there put zips on your pockets. It would make
Yeah,
life
I
so much
agree.
easier.
I agree.
I agree, Gary. I
I
agree.
even think there's many like sports trousers should have the same.
But no, the
Like,
way I was going to finish the story was, so I got trapped in the garden with my SIMless iPhone, and I
but you get
watched.
in your garage.
Yeah, so I was eating my Calippo,
Yeah.
and I was watching YouTube videos at the end of the garden,
Oh,
and I
great
was
Wi-Fi.
at great Wi-Fi. No, legit, I was getting like 65 megabit down in the in the back garden. I was like, the Wi-Fi coverage is so much better now. We got these Wi-Fi 6 routers. That's the story, guys. That's the story.
Oh dear. Lord.
There it is. There it is.
All for the Ring doorbell, and I just feel
It
this is
just
like a massive misuse of both Wi-Fi and the Ring doorbell.
This is what it was designed for, Tony. This is a real world use case.
Oh my god.
Well, that's my
Okay.
tangerine.
Well, I'm glad. I'm happily ever after. I'm glad it all went well.
Yeah, all's well that ends well, really. So
Yeah.
let's move on to the trailers. The first trailer we have is Sir, You Are Being Reinvented. So I don't know if you've heard Sir, You Are Being Hunted.
Yes,
But
I
this is
have.
a remake of the 2013 game
It's
coming
been that
February
long already, has it?
2016. Well, the entire trailer is just people saying, like, this game's been abandoned. Why don't you update this game? The multiplayer doesn't work. So they're essentially admitting to the fact that they're just remaking a game they left incomplete in the first place.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, okay, it's a bit of like a weird trailer to put out, like because they're kind of acknowledging it, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, they did also just kind of abandon the game, sort of
They're
thing.
not
So
explaining themselves.
maybe they're trying to be like, hey, we didn't update it for 8 years or whatever because we were working on a sequel, but I doubt they would have been working on a sequel for 8 years.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe like they're doing other stuff like in their life. I don't
Yeah.
know. It is hard to like.
But I think
Having to update a game, I could imagine that being quite like time consuming. It's like you see even with like
just so
mods
many.
like on the Nexus, like it's like you think, oh, like this is like easy to like update or like maintain. It's like no, I'm giving up maintaining this mod. Someone else can do it. It's like if you have to do it with a mod, I can only imagine what you'd have to do with the game.
Anyway, so yeah, I haven't played the original game. I don't think you have either, right? But I know
No, I don't.
it's
Okay,
well
this
reviewed.
entire trailer is literally just
Yeah, that's the
I don't
whole
understand.
trailer.
I thought they might actually say something at the end.
Yeah, some people can play comments saying it's a lazy video and the game was super shallow and had nothing at all to vary the gameplay in different runs. I seriously hope that we can mix up the meat of the game. Yeah,
I
I
thought
don't
it
know.
was an interesting concept from what
It's
I
like
saw, but I
it's
never
like
played it myself.
it's like a small indie game, so I'm gonna like
Yeah,
keep my eyes on it and see if they can manage to turn it around.
yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested, but
All right, next
I
up we
want to see
have
more than just old
oh,
comics.
Tony, the Jackbox Party Pack 8. That is what you love to see,
Why are we
isn't
looking
it?
at Japanese? Oh my god!
What's your beef with Jackbox?
I feel like
I love Jackbox.
unless you don't know what Jackbox is, this
Right.
is a useful trailer. If you know what Jackbox is, like you could have just said, "Yeah, there's gonna be more
No,
Jackbox,"
because I
and
want to
it's
see
like,
what the new
okay,
games are, because the new games look pretty cool.
okay, okay.
But yeah, it does actually look like quite a like the secret murder one as well. Looks really cool. I was actually playing Jackbox like yesterday or the day before. Like we're constantly playing Jackbox and we want to play new games, so. Having more stuff to play is really cool, and especially another trivia game because we've played so much Trivia Murder Party. The new spin on a new trivia game would be big for our group as well, I think.
Right, right.
But yeah, I can count on my boy
But
Hearthstone / Halo Andy
I still
to
think
get
it should
this
be
on day
added to
one.
like the same base game instead of having to like quit out of it to go to a different
Yeah,
game.
that isn't. They should make
Because
a
they
Jackbox
can have like
Party
a
Pack Ultimate Edition
yeah. Because
where you can
the way
purchase
I would
them as
see it, you
DLCs, but it doesn't.
yeah yeah you'd have
It
like
would sell
but
worse. Is the problem?
I guess yeah.
Cause business is the answer.
It's a shame that you can't advertise DLC in the same way on Steam. It's kind of a Steam problem.
They could do the VR thing where they add the content and then they increase the price of the game.
Yeah,
But
but I
then
feel
that would
like
just
you could make the base game free and then like make each pack like its own game and like then if you add it like you add like your actual big list inside the game of like what you can play.
yeah. It's just
That's how I
the
would do
reason
it.
developers don't make expansions for their games anymore is because they just don't sell as well as
No,
sequels.
I know. It
It's
doesn't
just
get
not.
advertised. It doesn't get pushed to the top.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I know.
It's just not financially like responsible.
Because at least in like brick and mortar stores, like you could like sell an expansion like on a separate disc, and like you can actually advertise it as its own thing.
Well, speaking of someone who believes in doing free updates to their games, Sean Murray, guys. Beautiful. Every atom procedural, every fish procedural,
I
every
like.
star
They're still
procedural.
going with that one.
Guys, we've got a brand new No Man's Sky update. No Man's Sky Frontiers. Someone who didn't do a Peter Molyneux in the game and actually didn't abandon it and fixed a lot of the issues. We have
Yeah,
the settlement update. So you can
which was
explore
fantastic, by the way.
procedurally generated alien settlements. You can learn their stories and help them develop thriving communities. There's like a story to like the planets now. They're not just big open empty husks, right?
Yeah, that's great. Like, I don't care about like thousands of planets if they're all shit.
Not only can you like explore these pre-existing settlements, you can construct your own settlements and structures with new base parts and new building tools, which is really freaking cool.
Yeah, they've put a lot of what looking at like the big update like page they've got. Like, they seem to put a lot of work into the actual new parts, like the new base parts, that make it more useful for building like buildings and
Mm,
settlements and unique structures. Which I thought was pretty cool. Like they put a lot of effort into that.
mm. Yeah, and finally, Tony, after 5 years, Hello Games No Man's Sky has reached mostly positive on Steam reviews from like I think it was
Finally,
like mostly negative or something.
yeah.
So
I think it
that's
came
kind of
mixed for
crazy.
the last couple of years, but yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it's finally
it's
made
now
it.
it's good. It's positive, I guess. That's good.
Well, they put so much work into this game, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
All
my
through
only
free
criticism still
updates.
is the very start of the game still needs work, in my opinion.
Mm.
Like I feel like like I don't know, getting into the game I think is still difficult.
Is there a modding scene? I've seen like some mods for this game, but
I
I'm not
think
sure
there's
how
a
big
small
it
modding
is.
scene. Yeah, I don't think it's massive, but I don't actually know.
All right, Tony, here we go. Stellaris Lem update. What is
Right.
this?
Like, well,
Available in 2 days, Tony.
yeah, true. So I guess I should start with which you brought before the podcast started. I keep forgetting that not everyone cares about Solaris or doesn't keep track of Solaris as much as I do.
Yes, yes.
So after the 3.0 update and the which expansion came out at that point? I can't remember. The 3.0 update and we hit recently. After
Yeah.
that, they decided to split their team into two. One, or maybe they created a new team. I can't remember. I think they employed new people, but I think it's their main like splitting the team to two. So one is like developing new content, like DLCs, and the other is to add new content
every
and
three
fix content to
months.
existing stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, and we've reached a 3 month point from they first did this, so
Hmm.
good timing, I guess. Well, if you ignore the if you ignore the summer holidays of 3 months, I'll put it that way. Yeah, so this is the custodians team update. So
Yeah.
they're looking after the base game. So I guess the key points. So do you know the tradition system, Joe?
It's kind of like the Civ, like technically
Exactly like the
sort
Civ
of.
tradition system,
Yeah.
yeah. They're adding more traditions
Hmm.
and adjusting them. So before there are 7 traditions, and you could just get all of them. Now I think there's going to be. I want to say there's going to be 14 in total now, but you can still only choose 7, so you have to pick and choose what you want. It's either 14 or 12. I can't remember how many there are now. So
They were
you
doing,
can't just get everything anymore. You actually have to specialize your traditions.
and they were doing like a humanoid update sort of thing, weren't they?
Yeah, so there's 2 species packs. So okay, I'm going to give a little bit of a history thing here. The Lithoid pack is a species pack that added rock people to the game.
We love to
But
hear
instead of
that.
just being like decorative, they actually had their own unique mechanics. And everyone was like, "This is amazing! Why didn't you do this before?" And then they brought the Nectroids out, the undead pack, and again they added like their own mechanics to like the species and like civics and origins you could select. Then everyone's like, okay, so that you kind of made humanoids and plantoids just ship sets and portrait packs. It's not a very good deal. So now
Hmm.
finally we're going back into both of these and adding civics for your empire and I believe unique traits for those species that you can, if you want to, choose from. And the ones that are particularly interesting for humanoids, there's the combo that it's like Pleasure Palace or something, or like
The hedonism thing.
yeah, it's basically just like increase happiness and pop growth sort of thing. It's just like yeah. but then like I think governing ethics attraction is decreased or something. Planesways, however, have a very what people consider overpowered. You can convert food into alloys, where ordinarily you would convert minerals into alloys. So that seems to be very powerful. So those are the big changes that they're adding. I think as well, for Necroids, they're making it so you can have undead hive minds, like you can like combine a species pack with a
Mm,
main expansion pack at that point. That's like a interesting synergy. I think those are the main things in the update. There's a few other balance changes, but that's about it.
mm. That sounds good. Are you going to play in a couple of days when it comes out?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I still need to finish my old game.
Oh,
I hope
right.
it I hope it doesn't fuck up. I don't think it should fuck up too much actually. I think it should be pretty similar.
Well, that's beautiful. Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.
It is good that they're going back and like either changing base game stuff or actually adding stuff to DLCs like that. That would be yeah, that's a really good thing to do. Like it's like free content basically.
Okay. That sounds good. I have to
Yeah,
play that in your weekly Stellaris game and then
yeah, it would be
see
good.
what the updates come to fruition. Did you mention the humanoid clone army?
Oh no, I didn't. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot about that
Yeah.
one. The clone, yeah, that's so weird. It's like a Star Wars. Like I don't know why.
Hello
Like I
there.
expect it in a Star Wars mod. It's like yeah, it's like a fallen clone army. Like after the Clone Wars sort of thing. But yeah, it's so weird.
So I think they said you could start as a clone army and then you could either like stay as a clone army. You could look into the origins of your species and how you came to become clones.
Yeah.
It's like
Was it? It's a weird system because I think you need like I think you can the clone people you have like need to be sustained by a clone army.
hmm.
Then so you need like another set of population to like actually have a proper population. So it's kind of a bit weird. I don't know. I have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, but the LEM update's like a 2 day thing, and I don't know.
It's no dick update.
It's true. Apparently, it's named after another writer, so we'll have
Yeah,
to
they all are. I don't know who Lem is, but
a good guy. Let's hope so. Anyway,
I've only known a couple of the update names so far over the Solaris's lifetime. So
nothing will beat the dick update, I don't think.
no, exactly. Dick update would be the best update.
Okay, let's move on to Joe's weird VR game of the week. But this isn't
Oh,
that
is this what
weird.
this is?
This is Cosmonius High reveal trailer. This is actually a brand new game from Alchemy Labs. If you don't know
Oh,
Alchemy Labs, these are the people who made Job Simulator, one of the first like big breakout VR games. Then they were bought by Google and they made Vacation Sim. And this is another one of them. This looks like another job simulator, to be honest with you.
right.
It looks like a new sort of job simulator game, but set in like a alien high school. I assume the gameplay is going to
I'm
be
very.
similar. You're just going to try and plug disasters in VR, sort of thing.
Oh, like the like school disasters.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to have like superpowers. I think it's like a superpower thing, so you can use that to
Right. Okay.
yeah. You have the magical power to fix this problem. Your hands are now water jets that can shoot out this fire. It looks pretty fun. It's the sort of thing. I like Job Simulator. I haven't played Vacation Simulator yet, but I'm assuming it's more of the same. I have played through all of
Yeah.
Job Simulator, so I'm interested to play it. They're a good VR developer, and it's come to Oculus Quest and PC VR in 2022. So
I think
yeah.
personally I prefer the job simulator premise over like a school, but
Mm.
that's just me.
So let's move on to quick news. Boomerang X first update. We did a spotlight on this a while back, I think, and then I actually got the game and I said it's quite short, and then I played it and I was like, yep, it's quite short. It's actually
Mm-hmm.
like if you just play the base game, it's about 2 hours long, and then if you play New Game Plus, which like completely changes it's the same stages, but then it's like way harder. You're facing enemies you would normally face on like several stages down the line immediately, sort of thing.
Is there more enemies or just
Yeah,
Harder
there's more
enemies.
enemies and harder
Okay.
enemies.
Right.
And like the boss fight, I was like legit sweating. I was like, "Holy shit!" sort of thing. It's Boomerang Gangs is such a good game. It's so hard to describe. It's like a movement precision shooter. Like there's not enough games like this, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I fucking love this game. I'm really hoping for like a workshop update or like more content because I'm personally not a fan of endless modes. I don't know if you know this, but like I'm not a fan of like horde mode or like endless modes.
Oh, I see.
I'm not a fan of like
This is
stuff
more like a horde
without.
mode, is it?
I've said this before, like in VR and other games. I like stuff where I can play like a campaign. It's got like a start and a
Yeah.
finish. Like with
Yeah.
endless mode, I'm not like a huge fan. I might check this out. I mean, I really freaking love this game. So it's cool that they've put an update. I know it's like a really small dev team. It's like fucking 4 people or something.
Oh, right.
4 to 6 people or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, if you haven't checked out Boomerang X, I would recommend
I can
picking
see
it
a
up
lot of
on
people
sale.
liking this sort of thing, though.
Yeah, and I would like because I've seen some people just play through the game and then just go like, "Oh, it's finished. It's super short." Try New Game Plus
Yeah.
because it is worth playing through again on New Game Plus because it completely changes like the experience um, of like the enemies and how you play and stuff.
Yeah,
Which is
maybe
pretty
they'll
cool.
add. Do you think they'll add like new levels later if they get more
Yeah, I
support?
really hope because like playing through on like the normal playthrough, it's like, oh, this is. I don't think I died once just playing through normally. I played on New Game Plus and I was just like constantly dying. I was like, oh, that was the. I feel like the Boomerang campaign is the tutorial and then New Game Plus is
Yeah,
the real
yeah.
game. It's finally like, oh shit, it just got real sort of thing. But anyway,
Interesting.
oh, What the Golf is getting a new campaign. Have you heard of this game, Tony? Um,
Yeah, I know what the golf. So
I've
is
been
this?
I've been playing it recently. But basically, there's a brand new update that may contain holes. It's a whole new world update. I don't know if it
Interesting.
looks a little bit
I
like
saw a
that.
donut.
Donuts. Yeah, it could be related to donuts. They do a lot of like parodies of other
Hmm.
games. Like when I was playing it, they did like was it called Katamari
Oh
Damacy parodies
yeah.
stuff like that. So I'm assuming this is like a there'll be a lot of homages to Donut County and stuff. This game is really cool. If you haven't played What the Golf, definitely check this one out. We're going to be doing a tangerine soon, Tony. I've got 4 golf games lined up, ready to talk about some more
For
golf. I don't know why I love golf games. I'm a
you
golfer.
collect golf games.
I like playing golf games. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, it's fun. Next up we have CJ Project Red has hired members of the cyberpunk game modding scene to work on an official modding support and bug squashing for the company. This stuff's really cool to see. Like a lot of people were complaining, "Hey, cyberpunk's taking like a really long time to fix like simple bugs, while modders are like quickly fixing them."
Yeah.
And in like cyberpunk's dev video, they were like, "Well, it would be." Easy to fix them on PC, but then we also have to get them working on, the PlayStation version, the Xbox
Yeah.
version. We have
I can
to,
understand they've got more than one
yeah,
basket to
we have to make
fix,
sure it works
but
on it. But it is, but then it seems pretty cool that they have actually hired modders out of the community to help with this. That is a nice turnaround for them. I really hope Cyberpunk, like, it seems like with 1.3 they did squish a lot of bugs, but I'm really hoping like for
well,
some content updates to Cyberpunk because I feel like
yeah,
it's still
I
missing
don't
something.
I don't really understand I don't really understand like how they're gonna do this, but I've heard that like they're gonna be working on like a I think they've people like this is what the community have called it, like the next gen updates. Like they're like not gonna they're gonna do what they actually said they're gonna do and not release it until it's actually
Um,
ready.
the next gen update is like making the PS5 and
Yeah.
Xbox
So
Series X versions because right now, if you're playing Cyberpunk on a
they'll
PlayStation or the Xbox, you're playing the PS4 version
yeah.
or the
Yeah.
Xbox Series X version, but with more overhead because you have more powerful technology. So you're
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
like the PS4 version on the PS5, but when the PS5 version will come out, it'll have stuff like ray tracing, the more advanced graphics stuff, that sort of stuff. But
Yeah. It's just so weird though that
I
I don't
think it. I
understand why
think
they
it that
release it for the old consoles.
I because no one can get a PS5 or an Xbox
True,
Series
true.
X at this point.
no one can play the Cyberpunk, so I feel like
Well, they did add it back to the PlayStation Store and said, "Hey, don't play this unless you're playing it on a PlayStation 4 Pro or a PS5."
yeah, it just seems crazy to me how bad the performance is. One thing that kind of sucks as well, I've seen I believe in the last update, like people suspect that some of the changes they made were to improve the console versions.
Hmm,
But it did also mean that they had to like lower the well, increase technically increase performance, but like lowers the fidelity on PC as well slightly.
that
It's
doesn't
like
make.
kind of a
I
shame they're
don't.
like intrinsically linked. Like maybe they should have done a Witcher and like release it
That
on one
that
system
that
first and then
seems
port it.
like that seems a bit like conspiracy theorist. I'm not sure about the
Yeah.
legitimacy of that. Um, but if
Well,
I get
there
like
are side to side videos between the updates,
hmm,
but I don't actually know like why those changes are there.
okay, next Halo MCC flight will include Flood Firefight, a new map for Halo 3, a custom game browser for Combat Evolved and 3, and skins in the Halo 3 campaign and more. I've been
See,
waiting. I've been waiting
I
forever
thought this
for.
collection was finished. Like, what's left to add?
No, there's still tons. Like we still don't have, the custom game browsers for all the games.
Oh, right, right.
Um, yeah, there is still like stuff to add. I've actually been waiting. Like I've got all these cool skins on like the Halo battle pass stuff they put out for the Master Chief Collection, and I was like, and you can use them in the Halo multiplayer. I'm like, I never play the Halo multiplayer. So it's
Right.
like actually being able to have like a cool Warthog skin or a cool tank skin in the campaign of Halo 3. That's really cool to me because that's actually content that I will, play
Yeah.
and enjoy.
Yeah.
So that's cool to see. They still need to add Halo 5 to the Master Chief Collection, Tony, and then they need to add
True.
Halo Infinite to the Master Chief Collection.
Um,
No?
there's no Master Chief in Halo
Oh,
5.
oh, it's true. It's true. Player Unknown has departed PUBG company to found new studio. Player Unknown has
Wait, what?
left Player Unknown Battlegrounds company.
What? Who?
Brendan.
Player unknown himself.
Yep. Legend.
Yeah. I say you hate to see it, but I guess like at some point, like you're gonna do your own thing, right?
I like how if you look up, it is Brendan Green. Yeah, Brendan Green, better known by his artist name, Player Unknown. Player Unknown. Artist name? That's an interesting way to put it. Okay.
Okay.
But he put out this trailer called Prologue. It's basically a little teaser trailer. I think we may have seen this before, but I'm not sure. But he said it's release a tech demo for a game called Prologue. Prologue it is said is a tech demo to showcase the terrain generation and what they want to use in a later game, which they intend to be massive multiplayer and sandbox. He wants to go back to like the DayZ roots and just have like a massive open world, like sort of sandboxy thing going on. That's the next game from the PUBG creator. Will he invent a new
Right.
genre? We'll have to see.
Player unknown productions.
Yeah, it's very confusing when Player Unknown is not in Player Unknown. Next up, we have
Yeah. Oh god. Okay.
Crisis Remastered Trilogy. So featuring Crisis 1, 2, and 3 will launch on October 15th. Exclusively on the PC Epic Games Store. So it'll be exclusive to Epic on PC. I think the first one was as well for a year. It had the year exclusivity deal with Epic.
Oh right. Yeah. Yeah.
But this game features Crisis 1, but you can play the Crisis 1 remaster on Steam soon if you want because it's actually launching on Steam. I think it says like soon TM at the moment. I think it's coming soon. But it's the Epic exclusivity has gone. The year of exclusivity is gone for that now. So if you wanted to play the first Crisis remaster, then you can in like probably a couple months. But if you want to play 2 and 3, there'll be probably a year exclusivity on Epic, and you can purchase them separately as well if you want to. So if you already have the first remaster, you don't have to get the trilogy.
Oh, right. So they're like, oh, okay, I see. Yeah. Okay. Interesting way of doing it.
GTA Underground project has been shut down. We talked about this before, but Rockstar and Take Two, they did the big DMCA's, and then I think they straight up like they went from like cease and desist to DMCA to like just suing the guys making the reverse engineered code mods for the old GTA game, sort of thing. So yeah, I think they're all gonna have to shut down because no one's going to be able to afford the legal fees to defend this stuff, even though I think it is completely legal what they're doing. I'm not a lawyer, this
Yeah.
is not legal advice, but um,
We think at least that you think it should be, but you're not. Yeah, not if it
well, it
actually
kind of
is or
sucks
not.
that like it seems like they're doing this just because they're making their own like
Yeah.
remaster, and now they're like, oh well,
Especially if they're remaking the code, I don't really see, or they're redoing everything. I don't really see like what
surely
they
if
have
your
claim to.
if your remake is that good, it should be better than these reverse engineered things.
Yeah, and surely if you're remaking it from scratch, like
But then they'll be like,
you're only
well, you know,
based on that.
it's using our code, but it's like no, it's reverse engineered. I think they're
The
arguing
only
that
thing it's
reverse
doing is using
engineering the code is infringing their copyright in some
I
way. I
don't
think that's
think
the argument.
that may be so, but I always thought that you couldn't claim that. Like I thought there were many court cases that failed. Like they made that claim and then failed because like no, you can't just they made it from scratch. They haven't copied yours at all. They just took what your code was trying to do and made it themselves. Well, the only thing I really see is like they are. I guess they're directly copying the map though, so maybe that there's grounds on that front.
Yeah.
You might not have like this like a script to or like a music piece of music, and then it's like you're like, oh, I'm just listening to it and just recreating it. I didn't technically like directly copy it
Mm.
though, but I don't know. Not a lawyer. I don't know how this
Well, there's like
works.
sampling and stuff, isn't there? Advertising
Yeah,
standards tell Star Citizen Dev to make it clear that for sale concept ships don't actually exist in the game yet. This is pretty funny.
it's funny, but I feel like everyone already knows what's happening. But yeah, they should have made it clear that it
The
doesn't
Advertising
exist
Standards
yet.
Authority has told Star Citizen developer Cloud Imperium Games to make it clear that for sale concept ships are not actually available in the game yet.
Are
CIG currently
these
sells what it calls concept ships in development, but are not able to be piloted yet in the controversial space sim. What did you say, Tony?
is this who is the advertising whose advertising stand is this? Is this Europe's? Was this?
I think it's the. Is it not the UK?
Yeah, was it the UK?
I thought the Advertising
I know
Standards
we have one.
Authority. I think it's the. I think they're based in the UK, aren't they?
Okay, so it's the UK version.
The
Okay,
Advertising Standards Authority is a UK
it's the
organization.
UK. It's the
Yeah.
UK one. Okay.
But yeah, we'll have to see how this turns out. Good luck to Chris on ever releasing this game, because it seems like
I think they went for the next console generation. I think.
the Xbox Series PS6. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And GTA 5 will be released on it as well.
Yeah, yeah.
That
And so was Skyrim.
GTA 5, Skyrim, and Star Citizen are the launch titles for the PS6, guys. You've
Yeah,
heard it here first.
yeah.
Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning, Fate's Warn DLC update, the Gale Crossing. They're making a new DLC for this old game, Tony. Yeah.
What?
I don't know if they like announced this when they did it, or this just came out of nowhere. But if they did say about this when it launched, I completely forgot about it. But yeah, they're making a new DLC for like this old. It's like 2014 game or something like that.
Yeah, it's ridiculously old. You can't jump in it.
There's no jumping in Kingdoms of
I
Amalur.
I find it
Reckoning.
weird to have games where you can't jump.
Guild Wars 1.
Yeah,
Can't jump
it's
in
weird in
Guild
Guild
Wars
Wars 1. It's weird in Amalur Kingdom's Reckoning.
I assume it just frees
Amalur.
up a lot of development time if your character can't jump.
I guess, but it just feels like I don't know. Even
Yeah, I
if
like
it's
jumping.
useless,
I
you
like
should just
jumping for
have
no
it.
reason too. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's probably a lot easier to do. I think
And
it's like
also, okay, in Kings of Amalur, there was a time when I was playing it, like very early in the game. I'm like, oh, I go down this little cliff. I'll just jump down. Oh, I can't. I have to walk all the way round.
it's a revolutionary feature. It's like when the fish move out the way in Call of Duty. No, it's never been done before.
Yeah. And I just feel like if you just plan to add jumping, like I feel like once you've set it up, it's not too much to add. I don't just add jumping.
There was some rumors about this, but it seems like the Alan Wake remaster is happening. Have you ever
It's
played
actually
Alan Wake,
happening.
Tony? I've never played Alan Wake. I was trying to talk to
I've
people and see if anyone else had played Alan Wake, but I haven't found anyone
I've
who's
never
played
played
Alan
it.
Wake.
I've watched either the full playthrough, like I watched like half of it or something. It's an interesting
Um,
game.
so Alan Wake Remastered is near its completion. They're in partnership with Epic Games Publishing for multi-platform PC on Epic Games. So it seems like the remaster will be an Epic Games exclusive. Don't think. Yeah, I think that goes without saying. I don't. It's not 100% confirmed yet, but I think that goes without saying, given that
Doesn't
it's Remedy as well. So it's
yeah,
like Control. It was an Epic exclusive as well.
yeah.
So it's Remedy and published by Epic. So there's very very like no chance it's going to be on Steam or GOG. So
Yeah,
but I've never played Alan Wake. I've always been interested to try Alan Wake. People were saying it was kind of like a sort of like a Silent Hilly kind of game, and then other people were saying no, it's nothing like that. That you
Well,
do it dumb.
okay, thematically it is. I don't think it like, gameplay wise it's I don't know, maybe similar at the very most.
It's a mix of horror, human, and supernatural mystery. This article says.
Yeah. I would
Um,
actually say like it's like more gameplay version of The Vanishing of like Ethan
so
Carter or something.
what I was reading actually, people were saying like the console versions need a remaster more than a PC version needing a remaster.
Yeah, probably.
So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's much point for you to get the PC remaster, but we'll have to see like how extensive the remastering is.
Yeah,
Um,
I could see like I like I don't know like making the fog and like the lighting like very because like the lighting is very important. I would say
mm.
it's like if you could make like foggy lighting look really good with like modern technology, that'd be great.
Wasn't Alan Wake
Control looks really good, so like I don't know why they wouldn't do it for that as well.
wasn't like Alan Wake removed from storefronts for a bit because of like music rights
Oh
or something?
yeah, yeah, never could. Yeah,
Yeah, so
licensing problems.
but I think it went back up, so I think you still can get the
Yeah.
original editions of Alan Wake on
Did they
PC.
did they just have to like negotiate the like they didn't remove the music, did they, or did they just renegotiate the license?
My assumption is they just removed the tracks. Like I
Right.
was been playing the Bioshock 2 remaster recently, and I think they just like straight up just removed 3 of the music tracks in the remaster to
Yeah.
get around having to relicense the music again.
Like licensing stuff is shit, guys. Don't do it unless you absolutely have to.
Well, I mean, like Fallout games wouldn't be like anything what they are without the licensed music, I would say.
Oh yeah,
But their music
absolutely.
is like.
But didn't they make them in house though? Don't they own the rights to it themselves because they
They probably have
re-recorded?
like what's it called? Performance
Yeah, I reckon say like
versions.
because
They probably
they're
don't have the
doing.
originals.
Yeah.
Which is
I
why
thought a lot of the stuff they had
every
was.
time I hear that fucking I think it's like they have like a Ring of Fire on Appalachia radio, and it's like the
Right.
worst cover I've ever heard.
It must be worse,
It
one,
makes me want
surely.
to turn it off every time I hear it on 76. So that's
Right.
fine because I want to turn off 76 every time I play the game.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, let's move on. The Elder Scrolls 6 is reportedly planned as an Xbox exclusive, so it seems like the Elder Scrolls 6 will be a console exclusive for the Xbox. So it seems like Microsoft is flexing its muscles when it comes to, the new Bethesda games just going to the Xbox, which is good for
Right.
Microsoft, I guess, because that means that they actually have a reason for people to get Xboxes over the PlayStation. Bad for consumers because you have
Yeah.
less choices, but the way it goes. It seems like PC is just going to be left the way it is.
But okay, when they say like Xbox exclusive, they mean Xbox console exclusive. They mean actually exclusive because they
Xbox
seem to be
console
interchangeable these days.
exclusive.
Right.
Hmm.
To be
There's
fair,
no way they wouldn't release it.
they've
On
never
PC.
made a good game. Like recently, Bethesda make shit games for PlayStation. They just can't seem to code for it, so that's probably a good thing.
And also, it seems like game codes for Deathloop PC are exclusive to Steam. So it seems like Bethesda launcher may be being retired because
Right.
Bethesda has moved to Steam codes with their things now.
Oh God.
So
At least Starfield PlayStation 5 is not happening.
well, that the idea is that Starfield will be another Xbox console exclusive now that they're owned by Microsoft. It doesn't make sense for Microsoft to put it on the PS5 unless they think that the sales on that console would be enough to cover up the sales of people buying Xboxes to play their service or buying Xbox Game Pass. I mean, at this point, the Xbox console is just they're making losses on it for people to buy Xbox Game Pass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They make tons of money from the actual game sales, especially when there's no physical copies.
Yep. Horizon Forbidden West. I was reading a report it would not have a PS4 to PS5 upgrade, as it seems like they've stopped doing this sort of thing. Dual entitlement not included in the standard version. It seems like devs are going to stop the free next gen upgrades as standard, even though a lot of people still can't get their hands on PS5s and Xbox Series X's. I was wondering how long the free upgrades would last for.
Not very long.
Yeah, because it makes sense. Like as you said earlier, like the Xbox One and the PS4 are pretty outdated at this point. They shouldn't have to develop for them, sort of thing. Or
no.
they're kind of being phased out at this point. But the problem is,
if they decide to develop anyway, like I feel like it should be just put into the cost at this point.
At this point, as I said, alluded to before, a lot of people still can't get these consoles. So
no.
But then Sony put out a statement saying that an update on this, saying that there will be a free Horizon Forbidden West PS4 to PS5 upgrade now. So they've gone back on this after people were calling them out.
Right.
And
backlash.
Future first-party PS4 and PS5 games will have a $10 upgrade fee.
That's not too bad.
So if you do want to upgrade, there will be a $10 fee now if you want to.
You don't have to buy because I swear from the PS3 to PS4 you have to buy the game again.
Yeah, there was no upgrade thing there.
So at least it's a small fee, a smaller fee than buying the full game. But yeah, I don't know why. I swear you could. I guess it is actually the PS5 version because I assume you could still you can still launch and install PlayStation 4 versions on the PlayStation 5. So I assume you can still do that, but you just don't have the native PlayStation 5 version. I can kind of understand that from a developer's point of view.
Let's move on to some bigger news. Epic versus Apple ruling revealed. A lot of people put out articles saying that they felt like Epic won this lawsuit, but from actually
everyone lost, didn't they?
Diving deeper into this, it seems like it was very Apple favored. So the big takeaway for the Epic people is that Apple must allow App Store devs to redirect users to other payment systems, which I guess is a slight win for.
But you still can't install your own App Store.
So Apple can't block in-app purchases outside the store. But the court also found that Epic did breach their contract.
Yeah, that was always okay. That was always going to happen because, even if they change the law, I think they'd still be breach of the old.
They breached their contract to start this lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. I think that was always going to be found to be a breach.
So, in response to this, Epic has to pay the commission % on the $12 million it made on, iOS. Apple is now is not required to allow Epic back onto the platform and can legally refuse them access to their services.
Well, Epic still doesn't have the developer account back.
Ruling summary: Apple is not an illegal monopoly. It was ruled by the court. They said the walled
Apparently.
garden model does provide pro-consumer security benefits.
Does it? I
Yeah, but
disagree.
this is the ruling from the court. Apple is
Yeah, yeah.
entitled to a commission or license fee, even if
Yeah,
alternative
that's
payment
fair.
methods are used.
I agree with that. I agree with
And
that.
Apple can require that external costs for microtransactions match the costs they have on the in-app purchases.
Right.
Similar to the way how Steam, if you
Oh, I
sell
see.
Steam's codes,
Yeah.
you have to
Yeah, yeah.
match the sales on it on your other on
Yeah.
Steam itself.
Yeah, I don't have a
Um,
problem with that part of the ruling at all. It's like, yeah, I don't think yeah, I always agree with Epic saying like, oh, Apple is a monopoly because they have a 30% cut. I'm like, yeah, it's bad, like from a developer's point of view to have that cut, but it doesn't make them a monopoly.
yeah,
I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. It's like very much what I expected, but I still
it
think
seems like
I think some change has happened still, like in terms of like the minds of a lot of people.
yeah, there was like it seems like Epic lost pretty hard. They're kind of fucked when it comes to the iOS now, but it seems like it's a tiny win for consumers on and like
Yeah.
developers on the iOS App Store now. I
I
mean,
think it sets like a half precedent in a sense that like it like are able to like speak about it now in court. So I wonder if there'll be more stuff coming out soonish.
but there's like legal ruling now that says Apple is not a monopoly and that
True,
um,
true.
their
Well,
walled garden model
I don't really have a
is pro
problem.
consumer.
Yeah, I don't know if you need to like say they're a monopoly or not to be able to like want to be able to have options like what you can
Well, it
install
was an
on a
antitrust
device.
lawsuit, and they found them not to be, in
Yeah,
breach of antitrust.
yeah, that's true. That's not a very good ruling then.
Anyway, there's a lot of deeper stuff you can go into, but it's way above
But
my
I
head
swear,
because it's a lot of
didn't
legal stuff.
didn't Japan and Korea like make their own separate rulings though?
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
thought they were saying like they I can't remember what it was now, but they almost like said they wanted Apple to be allow third party app stores.
Hmm. I don't know. I'd have to look into that. Let's move on to Steam news. Steam Deck dev kit requests are now open. So you can now,
Yeah, I
if
saw that actually.
you're a developer of a Steam game, you can now request to have a Steam Deck to get your game optimized on the Steam Deck. This is pretty cool to
Yeah.
see. It seems like they really want to work with developers of Steam to try and get, you know, the entire Steam library running on the Steam Deck, sort of
Yeah, I
thing.
mean if it runs better than like their competition as well,
Hmm.
that's gonna be really
Well, the
good
thing is, it's better for devs,
for
right?
them.
Because if
Yeah,
there's lots
yeah,
of
yeah.
people buying Steam Decks, they're going to buy your
Yeah,
game on that
absolutely.
because it's supported.
Absolutely. Yep.
We got a pretty interesting game engine breakdown on Steam. Tony, before I talk about this, what do you think is the most popular game engine on Steam?
Oh, game engine on Steam.
Yeah,
I wanna oh no, I was gonna say Unity, but that might not be true. It's not something stupid like uh no, I'm saying with Unity, fuck yes, that's a
yeah,
default.
Unity. It's overwhelmingly Unity.
Okay, I was gonna say like from the Greenlight era, there's so much Unity based
There's
stuff.
like a really cool um, engine over the years graph on this website where it shows like the rise of Unity and Unreal, and then it's just like Unity just dwarfs everything pretty much.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have a
Like
look
there
at
is
this article
like
here.
they do go into stuff like
Oh my
RPG
god.
Maker and Game Maker Studio. It was an interesting fact as well. Um, Unreal Engine games apparently launch at the highest prices,
Yeah, I couldn't see that.
backing up the perception that Unreal is favoured for larger scale projects. We can see that 25% of Unreal games launch at a price point of over $30.
My understanding I don't my understanding of Unreal like is quite expensive to like get. So yeah, I didn't realize. I didn't. Yeah, look at this like graph over the years. It looks like Unity that took off like after the Greenlight era.
So like 6% of Unity games are launched over the 30 $30 mark. The $50 plus price point is attempted almost exclusively by games developed on Unreal or with custom
Oh wait,
engines.
Cities Skylines is on Unreal.
Meanwhile, 85% of all other game engines release under the $20 price point.
Right.
Um,
I know Unreal's like been adding like lots of like actually good features. Some like relatively recently. Like I know like it's still a free licenses.
apparently, it's hard for RPG Maker and Rimpy games to get Metacritic scores. Apparently, RPG makers games aren't reviewed a lot.
Yeah, I mean the yeah. I mean there is a problem where they almost all look identical.
But at the same point, RPG makers aren't reviewed a lot, but they also have some of the highest Metacritic scores because I guess small sample sizes.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Um, Another interesting to point out is almost no one creates their own engine anymore. At this point,
Nope, it's not worth it.
it's just like it's Unity, Unreal, and then
But
um,
I was gonna say, like in
Unreal
my
Engine.
endeavors, like to like learn about, because I've been wanting to learn like C++, over like the past 8 months. I want to say, like so, like kind of like going in and out of like looking at stuff like on YouTube, and like when I start doing that, like you get recommended like a Unity stuff, and like I've seen like stuff like, oh, like Unity's added this or Unity's added this.
Mm.
I think Blender as well, like has been making like really good updates recently as well. There's like it seems weird to me, like at the moment, all the free software again, like really good updates.
Hmm.
Like it's kind of insane.
Apparently, the RPG Maker tag is fairly accurate. Where out of the 1,338 games that Steam users and developers have tagged with RPG Maker, 1,107 were identified by our system as actually being RPG Maker games. This is something cool. Like I think it's always cool where I'm like, oh, what engine was this game made in?
Yeah,
And thanks to like GlasDSet and Game Crunch, we can actually like go onto the website and then find out.
yeah, it's
Um,
good.
what engines certain games are in. 'Cause it's always interesting to track when it comes to
But
like
Hollow Miami is in Game
animatics.
Maker Studio.
Beautiful.
That's insane.
He was asking what are the like requests for the website, and it's always devs saying stuff like, "Oh, I want this useful thing." I opened the Game Data Crunch website. I'm like, dark mode. I'm blind. I'm blind.
Yeah,
Anyway, but
everything needs dark mode.
everything. Mark S. Brownlee, Matt Black, everything. There it
Yeah.
is, guys. Um, And so we have the Steam client update is out that we talked about before. I talked about it being in
Yes.
beta, and I used the beta version. Have you used the new downloads page storage management, Tony? What do you think of
No.
it? No, you'll love to hear that.
I I had a bit of an issue when the update came through. I had like one of those like weird internet connection things where it's like it wouldn't get recognized by my router properly. So it's like no, that's not. So when Steam like pulled the like restart page, like it just came up with like a massive error going no, that's an invalid request. I'm like okay, I guess I'll restart later. So I haven't started yet.
I do like being able to rearrange the download queue with drag and drop. That's something that's really
Uh
fucking useful. That
Yeah,
I
yeah,
found.
that's really good. Apparently, you can like hover over the graph to actually get like accurate numbers now.
Hmm.
Is
I
that
did.
true?
I assume so. I've never done it myself.
Okay, because like one of my friends was looking at it and I was like, okay, that's actually really cool. You can actually go back because the old graph, current for me, it shows like the relative heights of like the downloads, but you can't like go back and like see what that number actually was.
So I don't know if you like this, but I actually found this kind of really confusing at first. When the game updates or downloads is actively downloading, it will now display the total progression completed for the downloader update. So previously, the progress bar would display the downloaded content. So if you're downloading a 2 GB update, it would say like, 15%. Sorry, like 1 GB downloaded out of 2 GB, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
It's saying how much is downloaded. Yeah.
but it would not show the disk allocation process, which would make an update appear to be completed when it was not. So now,
Yes.
if you're downloading a 2 GB update and your game's like 70 GB, it'll be like, um, it will show like
The unpacking
the
afterwards.
unpack like out of
Yeah.
72 sort of thing.
But it's not 2 bars though, is it? It's still like
It's
one
1 bar, but it really confused me. I'm
Yeah,
like, why am I
just
downloading?
split into two?
Why am I downloading 70 gigabytes? I'm so
Yeah.
confused. It's like, no, you're not. You're
Yeah,
downloading
no,
two.
in my opinion, they should split that into two because like you want to know like because it's different to know like how much the internet am I using compared to how much of my disk am I using. Those are two separate things. They shouldn't be just like one thing.
So another cool thing is the context menu can, for the actively download item, can include an option to launch the game when it's finished and an option to suspend download throttling if enabled for the duration of that download.
That's really good.
The View News
No,
button is a new patch notes button that will open an overlay to the most recent relevant patch notes for the game.
That's also useful. I think the most useful thing though, honestly, is the rearranging though, because the rearranging with the old system was so shit. Like, it was impossible to get the order you actually wanted.
I think their storage management thing is really cool as well. It's a lot easier to read and use now. They've updated that. That's in your Steam settings.
Right.
And then you go to select where Steam's installed. It's in your like settings in the top left. I was looking at it earlier. It's pretty good. Some people are saying like, oh, I didn't realize I had this game still installed on my drive that I'd refunded, like years ago.
Is that what happens still? Like it still keeps. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We talked about this before. So we have Valve won an appeal against Scuff Corsair regarding the controller back button. So we said that Scuff won a lawsuit against Valve
for having won the appeal.
They had against the back buttons on their Steam controller.
Yeah,
and then
ones that we both have.
The Valve appealed it, and they actually won the appeal.
I thought at one point there's someone like one of the judges of the appeal like you can't just appeal for like because you disagree.
Yeah, we did say that. But
so what happened there? Did they just like appeal again?
So the reason they were allowed to appeal was it was allowed Valve to introduce some prior art that the trial court wrongfully ruled was not allowed to be considered to be prior art. There was like a printing problem or something. That they basically unfairly got rid of some evidence. That's why they're allowing the appeal.
Fair enough.
And Scuff Corsair has already appealed this decision. So we're just gonna have to see how far they go on this one.
Who has more money?
Valve.
That's kind of the answer.
Valve is the answer.
Yeah.
Not even close.
I can understand the judge thing, like you can't just keep reappealing, but yeah.
And then final piece of sort of Steam news is downloads to community mods Team Fortress 2 Classic and Open Fortress. I've personally played Team Fortress 2 Classic. I think I may have even talked about it on Tangerine or something.
Yeah, I believe so.
They've been disabled due to an arrangement with Valve. And so the downloads to these have been taken down. A lot of people were like, oh, what's going on? Is Valve like, cease and desisting or DMCAing these? They've said, in case anyone's worried, it's nothing to worry about. That's all we're willing to say right now. But then, according to a report from Tyler McVicker, he said that they've been sent cease and desist from Valve because the projects are based on the leaked source code. So there was a leaked source code from Team Fortress 2, and basically Valve said, hey, you're using leaked source code. We can't legally let you do this. But the email from Valve's team was very positive and seemed like they wanted to make a legal way for these projects to happen. So whether that be's in the way of official Steam releases or creating a mod base for these games or, creating tools that allow these Tier 2 modders to officially get licenses
or Valve
for these
license
things.
out the leak code properly legally.
We'll have to see, but Valve could just do nothing and leave these cease and desists and just say, it's really a turning point right now, I think, for like these big TF2 mods, because they find it really hard to keep their player bases because there's no discoverability for these games because it's like a download link on a website rather than being on the Steam store. Like I think even if you turn these into like some sort of workshop support, like you would have some sort of discoverability through official channels, and that would allow to like legitimize this stuff and then create discoverability for new players to keep these communities alive, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if this does turn into, a way for TF2 projects to create like legitimate like content, community content for the games, that would be really freaking cool. Although I have so little faith in Valve that at this point I doubt something like
It
that
could go either
happen.
way, right?
Yeah, I think so. Let's move on to business news. Oh, we talked about this a little bit. Rockstar's parent company Take-Two Interactive has filed a lawsuit against the folks who behind the reverse-engineered project for GTA 3 and Vice City, also known as RE3. Sources say Rockstar is remastering their classic games. We kind of went into that before. I don't have much more to add. I think it's shitty. I really don't like it, but
yeah,
we'll have to see. Delays, cancellation announcements. We've got a update. Update 35 for Deep Rock Galactic is delayed, but the modding support update will release in 2 days, the same day as the LEM update, isn't it? The Stellaris update.
yeah, this isn't it.
It's the exact guys. Don't go on Stellaris on September 14th. If you know what's
It's a trap.
Deep Rock Galactic modding support's coming out. That's the one you want to be on.
Yeah, I'll start modding at that point.
Main news. So we got a Jagex story, and then we'll move on to Sony PlayStation Showcase, where they showed off a bunch of cool new game trailers, and then we'll end the podcast. So, Jagex. So the original story was that Jagex was banning a Runelite HD project right before it was about to be released, and plus all further old school RuneScape HD client projects. So Runelite HD was basically a graphical improvement mod developed by 117 that improved the game lighting to look like these screenshots. It was announced over half a year ago, and it was highly anticipated by the community. So Jagex knew this was coming. The community knew this was coming. They were ready for it. But as soon as it was just about to be released, they pretty much stopped it, blocked it from being released. And they said they stopped this mod from being released just in case Jagex themselves wanted to make their own RuneScape HD improvements.
They stopped it, did they?
Jagex stopped it because they said, hey, we might be working on our own HD version, and we're not sure when this is going to come out, but if it does come out at some point, we don't want to compete with this, so we're just going to, send the cease and desist sort of thing now before it comes out. It's like, but then the modder was like, can't it just stay up until your version comes out? Because I'll take it down as soon as your comes out.
Right, yeah.
So there was a big community outrage about this because people have been anticipating this for a year, and it seems like, Jagex has no immediate plans to come out with their own HD project, and it doesn't violate any of the, the TOS of the game or like give it players an unfair advantage. So after big community outcry, there was a lot of like stuff written about this. Jagex has completely reversed course. This is the update. They say that they will work with Runelite and Runelite HD Creator to allow third-party graphic mods until their official version is ready. So it seems like they're still like, hey, you can have this up for now, but when our stuff comes out, you'll have to take it down.
I don't understand why. I don't understand this competing nonsense. Like, how are you competing? Like, one would be in the game, surely, and one you'd have to externally get it. How's that competing?
And then old school RuneScape's Runelite HD plugin to release on Monday. So it's going to be releasing soon, tomorrow, right, from this podcast if you're watching live.
Yes.
So they've completely gone from, hey, you can't do that, we might be doing that in the future, to, hey, this is releasing tomorrow, we're behind this is cool.
But until we do something.
Yeah. So
I still think that's a bit shitty. Like, just allow both of them to exist. Like, I don't see how it's that competition is complete nonsense to me. Like, you don't compete with a mod. That just seems. Ugh.
So we have the Sony PlayStation Showcase, which was basically like a little Sony trailer conference, and then we'll end the podcast.
Yeah.
So first up, we have the big announcement of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake.
Yeah. That's big.
This is coming from Asper Media, Lucasfilm Games, and SIE. We've got there was a Twitter post, someone tweeted EA asking if they're working on this. Apparently, there is no EA involvement in this
What? That's insane.
in this
Wait, who's doing it
KOTOR
then?
remake. Asper Media, Lucasfilm Games, and SIE, right?
Yeah, where's the money coming from?
Sony.
Yes, okay, right. So
it's going to be a PS5 console exclusive, because I was speaking to my friend yesterday and I said, "Are you excited for KOTOR?" And he said to me, "Ah, no, it's a PS5 exclusive." And I said, "No, you fucking idiot, Martin. It's a console exclusive." People are legitimately being well, that is exactly what I said, but
no.
I was gonna say
that tickles me. Sorry.
I was going to say, people are legit confused when it says like console exclusive. They think it means it's only coming to PS5, but like no.
Plus, I mean, like I said earlier, exclusive to like Xbox or exclusive to PlayStation 5 is the same as, or can be the same as, console exclusive.
So it's console exclusive to PlayStation, and it will also be on PC as well. We have confirmation it will also be on PC.
You'd be insane not to release this on PC. That's all I'm gonna say.
I like how
I'm looking forward to this.
On the PlayStation channel, the game's listed as Star Wars: The Old Republic, the MMO version of this. So that's
right. What?
Uncharted: Legacy of Thieves Collection. The investor slideshow was right, Tony. Uncharted 4 from 2006, A Thief's End, and Uncharted spin-off game from 2007 are both The Lost Legacy. Are both coming to PlayStation 5 and PC through a remastered version. So it will be coming in 2022, ported by Iron Galaxy, who've also worked on the Diablo 3 and Overwatch ports for the Nintendo Switch. They've also helped work on the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy remaster and the Spyro Reignited remaster for PC as well. So they have, experience working with PC ports and working on Switch ports. So they probably have, some expertise and finding the little edges to get the game running better. So hopefully this is good. I've never played an Uncharted game. I've always wanted to, but I feel like
good experiences.
It's really strange because it's the 4th game in the series, which is like a really weird place to start for people who've never played Uncharted like me. So I almost don't want to get this sort of thing.
Yeah, genuinely, I've played the first and second game. I would want people to start from the first game, to be honest with you.
Well, the people were saying like A Thief's End is the end of Nathan Drake's story, and you miss a lot of context and story stuff by just jumping straight into the game.
It's not like it catches you up or anything either. Like you genuinely would miss stuff from like going straight to that.
And even the spin-off game, which is also coming in this collection, is a character from the Uncharted games from before that you would have more context if you've played the other games.
Yeah.
Kind of, I think I said this before. Why just release the, the 4th game? I would love to play the first 3. Hopefully they're coming at some point.
Is this not like a Master Chief Collection thing where you start with the most recent what you're planning to do and then like work your way sort of backwards ish?
The Master Chief Collection started. They released Reach because they were releasing them chronologically, and also Reach was the most
in universe chronologically.
Yeah, so Reach is the first game in the story, and also Reach was the game that was the most broken. So they needed to work on it first.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Which is why they did it. So it went Reach. They did it in chronological order. So.
Yeah, I just think when you do chronological order, it should be like actually like in the real world when it actually released, not in universe.
Well, that wouldn't be chronological then, would it?
Yeah, that's still kind of chronological. It depends how you're referring to. Okay. Chronological just means time-based. It doesn't mean. It depends if you're talking about in universe or real life.
Okay.
That's the confusing part. I would still argue that prequels should be counted as prequels, and you watch after the main thing. That's my argument, and always will be.
We've got a trailer for Marvel Spider-Man 2. It's another Insomniac Spider-Man game. It's going to be a sequel to the first Spider-Man game, and it's also to Miles Morales, because both Spider-Man and Miles Morales Spider-Man are in this game. And also, the big announcement was Venom is going to be in this Spider-Man game. He was, I think, absent from both the other games. I don't know. I don't have a PS5, so I can't play these games. Okay, guys. You're releasing Uncharted 4 on PC. Cool. Ratchet and Clank and let Insomniac make some ports of their
please,
of their amazing games for me to play on PC. I would love it so much. I'm a big Insomniac fan, so I would love to.
Sorry, seems to be on a big roll at the moment.
Well, they're on an even fucking huger roll, because they're also, this is coming 2023, so this is like a couple years away, sort of thing. So we got the reveal of. I'll just show the reveal of Venom at the end. Because also, apparently Insomniac is also making a Wolverine game. They just put a teaser out where they were like, yeah, we're also making a Wolverine game. So Insomniac's going to be really fucking busy, Tony. They're working on it. They just literally released Ratchet and Clank Rifts Apart, and then Spider-Man Miles Morales, and then they're making Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine.
Yeah, I see what happens is that they make the game, and then like a very small team remains like just do patches and things, and then they just immediately switch to the next project.
No, because they did the next gen upgrade for the original Spider-Man to the PS5 as well, which they added. Like...
they've got at least 2 teams though, right? At least.
Oh, Tony, Grand Theft Auto 5 got a trailer for the PlayStation Showcase, and it showed absolutely no changes to the game whatsoever.
I don't understand. Money. So this is just GTA 5.
No, it's coming to the PS. They're going to have slightly better lighting than the PS4 version, it looks like.
Right.
Enhanced gameplay. All I could find was they're also adding more speed upgrades to the vehicles, and then locking them exclusively to the new console versions.
Why? Oh, because maybe because you can't load the game faster.
So people are saying older consoles were not keeping up with the data streaming from the hard drive, while the Xbox Series X and the PS5 have fast SSD, so they can actually keep up with the literal faster speeds of the
PCs though.
Yeah, so I don't think they're bringing this to PC. I think this is just for to be like, if you have this version of GTA 5, this is the one different feature from the thing. I like in this trailer they show like the helicopter, and they show like the flying DeLoreans and stuff, and I'm like, I was just waiting for the guy on the oppressor bike to come along and blow up someone in GTA Online. That would be a lot more accurate.
Is that what always happens?
There's I don't know if you know this, Tony, but there's like huge power creep in GTA Online where they've made like flying bikes that shoot rockets at people, and they're ridiculously overpowered. And that's a thing.
What? Okay, I'm not
gonna. Some people were like, guys, the GTA 5 PS5 version, it's going to be a complete engine rewrite. There's going to be crazy ray tracing added to it. They're going to make brand new DLC. They're going to make single player DLC. It's going to be used. And it's just like, no, it's just nothing, guys. They're just changing nothing about it.
Yeah. Don't get hyped. Basically, that's kind of
they're just gonna re-release GTA 5, and it's gonna be the same game it's always been.
They might. I mean, they could have Skyrim and added fishing. Come on.
Well, if they do, Tony, I'll keep you posted.
Right.
Final
the
piece
fishing
of news. Welcoming Firespite to the PlayStation Studios family. So PlayStation bought Firespite, the 250-person developers team that was set up by members of Sony's old Liverpool studio. They were working on 2 projects prior to the acquisition. Firespite had been recruiting for 2 titles, a game-changing huge multiplayer shooter and an ambitious dark narrative blockbuster adventure. So it got acquired by Sony in like early 1993. It then got shut down in 2012. The developers went off and created a new studio, and then that new studio got acquired by Sony again in 2021. This was the original studio was Cynosis, the original dev who made Wipeout.
Right.
Yeah.
So who made the PS3 Wipeouts?
I'm not sure. Was that Cyanosis?
I don't know. I feel like it might
I'm
not
not
be.
like a huge. I did play Wipeout as a. I don't know. I played Hydro Thunder. I think Hydro Thunder was like the one I really liked.
No, yeah, it was the same developer.
Yeah, the PS3 ones. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they were. It was 2012. They were let go.
Right, and they didn't. And Fury came out. Right, it's just like they brought out Fury and then they closed basically.
Mm, maybe yeah. But yeah, it's cool to see that those guys are back working at PlayStation, and hopefully they can stay a bit longer this time around.
Yeah, because I really like the Wipeout games, by the way. Like they're
Mm.
fantastic. They're just really cool.
Let's do the
Would recommend if you can get hold of it.
let's do the Petermology tweet and end. I'm one of the few people you'll meet who's designed more games than you've played. That is a great Petermology quote. Somebody replied
What?
with "Alright, Garth Marenghi" with the great Garth Marenghi quote. I'm one of the few people who's written more books than you've read. Which is, if you've never seen Garth Marenghi, it's an amazing show. Check it out on like 4OD.
What is it?
It's okay. I'm gonna get into a long discussion. It's like a show from like 2003.
Right.
Um,
Good times.
yeah, but it's parodying like a show from the 80s, which is like a. So it's from like 2003, and then it's parodying a show from, like a hospital drama from the 80s. But
Right.
that hospital show from the 80s is also in universe where Garth Marenghi is a character who writes horror books, and these horror books are also turned into a show. It's super weird and like referential, but it's like, um, yeah, it's got like Richard Ayoade in it and like Matt Berry and stuff, and and like Matthew Holness. It's so funny. There's like 6 episodes of it, and it's genuinely like so underrated for how good the show
Right.
is. I cannot recommend Garth Marenghi's. I've done a terrible job explaining it, but
But okay. I mean, I'll check it out from that explanation. That's fine.
based on that explanation, you've got some low standards there. That was a terrible
Maybe.
explanation, but
Well, maybe, yeah, maybe it's just like I don't know what's going on, so I now have to look into it to figure it out. Maybe that's what's happening.
hmm. But it's actually like created by Matthew Holness and Richard Ayoade. So if you're fans of like Richard Ayoade or Matthew Holness, like definitely check out Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. Such a great show. Anyway, that's
I'll check it out.
that's the end of the podcast. You can check us out at Everything in Between Podcasts on YouTube. Type Peter's name and you'll probably find us. Twitch.tv/Scorn if you want to watch it live, as it is live right now if you're listening to this live. If you are not listening to this live, it is not live anymore. At Scorn 2000 if you want to follow me on Twitter for some reason. And we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.